The founder and CEO of the largest asset manager on the planet has just said that he is bullish on Bitcoin in the long term, and he is actually becoming more bullish as time goes on. Let's take a look.
Look, I'm very bullish on the long-term viability of Bitcoin.
I was going to say, did that surprise you?
That surprised me how much that's gone up. We're creating now a market that has more liquidity, more transparency, and I'm pleasantly surprised, and I would never have predicted it before we filed it, that we were going to see this type of retail demand.
So you thought you'd do good, but not this good.
IBIT is the fastest growing ETF in the history of ETFs.
The human mind is often expecting the craziest possible scenario because your brain is set up for immediate survival. So you're always expecting the worst or the best, a straight line up or a straight line down, but oftentimes, usually, the market is going sideways. And this is what I was saying yesterday on Twitter. I made this post. I said, in theory, Bitcoin's price could remain stable until the start of April. We could just follow this consolidation of lower highs and higher lows. Looking at the daily chart for Bitcoin, we have positive momentum on the MACD. 4 now, well, we have to close the daily, but we have 3 or more positive momentum histograms showing up on the daily, right? And so that's something that is usually a pretty good sign. Now, there are times where you get a consolidation with appears like positive momentum is returning, and then it comes down again, a little bit of a fake out, and then you get your breakout later. So it's possible that Bitcoin's MACD could come up, come down again, get us our breakout later. And that would mean that Bitcoin's price would sort of, have a false breakout and then come back, sort of just chop around a little bit and then get a breakout. That weird price action that you always see in the market, something that I always look for. So a weird structure like this where you have a breakout and then people basically get fooled into thinking that right there is the breakout. They go long, late, and then they get washed out. And then you have people that say, oh, look, we're breaking down. And then they go short, late, and then they get washed out. That's the stuff that this market, Bitcoin loves to do this kind of stuff. So this would not surprise me either. A little bit of sideways action is always likely. We're in the parabolic trend, and once we hit a vertical target, as we've been discussing on this channel, that's when you could see a correction. That could be a post-halving dip scenario. If you look at the textbook parabolic curve diagram, we've already determined here on this channel through the past many videos that we are likely creating base 4. But again, you can only confirm that by touching the trend line and hitting a new high. We may have touched the trend line, we're waiting for the new high. Bitcoin's price, according to the textbook, after base 3, the price doubles, which is 45,000 times 2, gives us 90,000. We also have a target that we've discussed recently, which is a trapped liquidity setup, bearish candle with a huge wick with a lot of short positions sitting in it. The EMA showing that we have upside momentum still in the market. If we break out and break that wick high, that is a perfect condition for a short squeeze. That is how you get short squeezes. And then if you were to just mark up that wick high and the size of that weekly candle that we are targeting, it brings you up to 87,500. That is the target of this trapped liquidity short squeeze setup. So Bitcoin's target would be 87,500 if you were going to take the technical setup. Now, a lot of people that heard me talk about this recently asked me, they said, hey, Kev, does that mean this is where we go short? They were saying, guys, you don't want to just blindly go short because you hit a target. I'm not sitting here claiming that this setup means that this will be the top. This is just how you obtain a proper target for this setup. Doesn't mean Bitcoin has to stop there. It doesn't mean Bitcoin has to top there. It just means that if you're trading this setup, you would take profits there based on the setup. Bitcoin's price could hit this, go, swing around for a bit, and then run up to our final target of 90,000 or as high as 95,000, which could be a Fibonacci extension target from high to low. Yes, multiple targets because, well, you're usually not going to hit an exact precision top target. Like, it's not realistic. You should have multiple targets and you should be having multiple orders. So if you're going to sell at this zone, multiple sell orders would be the proper approach. Don't just pick one and go all in and all out like a degenerate. Go in steps. It's not good to use ultimatums where this price I'm all in or I'm all out, because a lot of people think that way and a lot of people do that and it's not good. So just have multiple targets for this next potential run. 87,500, 90,000, and 94,696. Those are all of the targets that we currently have on this channel. These are all the proper sell zones. So there is, a lot to wait for. Bitcoin's price could, in theory, test another lower low. Just putting that out there before going up. It could, I'm not saying it will. We have higher lows right now. We have good momentum that we don't have to come down. Just saying that is a possibility, and we would still be in a parabolic trend. Anybody that understands trading, investing, and analysis knows that it's all probabilities and there are no certainties. You can't say Bitcoin will dump, Bitcoin will pump. Those are words of a fool. It's all probabilities. Bitcoin's price has a strong probability of continuing because the trend is still our friend. But of course, nothing is guaranteed. And there can always be flash dumps before a huge pump to wash the market. This is something we see all the time in Bitcoin. Keep that in mind, guys. Again, nothing has changed. We're still looking for 87,500, 90,000, 94,696 until we, if there's a lower low, then we would adjust the Fibonacci extension to a slightly lower low. And then the target would actually change. It would actually be closer to 100,000, but that has not happened. We are still sitting in this low. And so for now, we are still waiting for all of our setups, all of our targets to be reached and to play out. Just got to wait maybe a couple weeks sideways before the next breakout. And then we can confirm that that is base 4. We could put a check mark there. And then we would be going into the final stages of the parabolic trend at this point. So if you look, the textbook setup, that is the sell point. The textbook suggests that that is a good sell zone going into this range. Now, of course, the market can always be more enthusiastic. People can be more hype. There can be far more demand than expected, and the price could end up going higher than this. I'm not saying that this is going to be the top. These are just the targets of our setups, right? This is not a top prediction. They are the targets of our setups. That is different than trying to predict an exact top. You never know. The levels of demand can vary and change within a given range. If we hit these targets and there's just so much demand for Bitcoin, we could run into the 6-figure level before coming down. It doesn't really matter. You just have to let the chart tell you, and you just got to take profit at your targets. I'm not expecting this to be the end of the cycle. I expect it to be the end of our current trend, which means that Bitcoin's price could, at the very least, just go sideways a little bit before going up with barely any pullback. We could have a 2017 style pullback where we go into the 50s and then go up later. You never really know. You just gotta, trade it as it comes, as the chart, let the chart tell you, take profit at your targets, and then just follow your plan. But you never know. It could be a shallow pullback. It could be a super deep retrace into the 50s before the recovery. And that is why, being this early in the cycle, I would not be taking majority profit. It would be a small percentage of the profit of a total portfolio. 25% of the profits taken, reaccumulate lower just to reduce drawdown, to reduce risk, just a little bit of risk management, more or less. Not calling the end of the cycle here, just the end of this run before a large consolidation and then a push into the 6-figure level going into the rest of the year. There's just going to be a lot of volatility as usual. That's really my point. I do expect the run to continue after these targets are reached and we get a consolidation. Just want to get all these points across. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Smash like, subscribe. Oh, I know a lot of you guys probably got all scared about the KuCoin. Some of you guys are probably trading on KuCoin exchange. They're having weird issues or whatever it is. The government's coming after them. Well, guys, you got to be using exchanges that have been time tested, that have been around since 2011, like Kraken. Click that link below and sign up for Kraken if you want a reliable exchange. And if you guys want to support this channel further, you can join the Patreon. We're currently sold out, actually. I'm going to open up slots right before I post this video, so some of you guys can get in. Take the opportunity while it's here. Click that link below and join Patreon today, and I'll see you all in the next video.